What's up, Alliance family? What a powerful event. Let's make some noise for Mark Accetta and his team if you think that Mark Accetta is a 100% American badass. Let's make some noise if you've already decided to take the red pill. Mark Accetta, you had me at the beginning of this when you said you don't need to take notes. I was fired up. I want to say a special thanks to Andy and Jane Albright, who's changed our lives. They are absolutely incredible people. Thank you for bringing that kid, Mark Accetta, into our life. Mark Accetta works with a lot of us, and he is awesome. You know, I remember 10 years ago when the Alliance came knocking at our door, our family door. And my wife had been working at American Airlines for 25 years as a luggage handler. Now, feel confident. I married the cutest luggage handler American Airlines ever hired. This is a fact that's in the World Book of Guinness Records. So she was throwing bags into the belly of an airplane, and she had, after 2 shoulder surgeries, she took an early out retirement package. And she had to have a job. We were a 2-income family. And she had to get a job. Well, she got that job at Dillard's selling women's clothes and handbags. And she was leaving, long story short, leaving all the money up at Dillard's. Don't let your wives do that. She would hide the bags in the back of the car when she came home. So she was working at Dillard's at the tender age of 49 years young. And about that same time, Andy Riddle, our buddy, had posted on the Facebook that the Alliance was hiring. If you're interested, you come here and sling some insurance with the Alliance. And Olga responded to that ad, and thank you that you did, baby, because it's been 18 years with that woman, my bride and my ride. We are on the ride of life, Andy Albright. We're going to take the Alliance right into the grave. So she opened up the Alliance and started working her business. And she had never sold anything in her life. I was really not too fired up about it. Never sold anything, never ran a business. She started getting into class, getting her license. She kept plugging in. She kept going to these events. She kept honing her craft. And she started to make over $9,000 a month in deposits. What? I got fired up. I was like, my wife is making more money than me, because see, at that time when Riddle had posted that ad, I was working at what I called Mama Bama. That's Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Corporate America, Cubeland USA, and I hated it. I did not like it at all. I was making $70,000 a year as a mortgage loan officer. And she started working, she started making all this money, and I said, dang, my wife has got a real business. And I read a book that Andy wrote called The Millionaire Maker Manual, and in that book, he says, we've trained a lot of great people with our system. We've made all the mistakes. We are teaching you all of the shortcuts. We've trained people like Katz, Fitz, Davies, Leventovich, Avian. But if you want to get training from me directly, call my office and set it up. And I was like, I got 80 hours of PTO. I can go up there to corporate and get training from Mr. Andy Albright anytime he wants to train me. And so I called his office and I said, hey, this is Jason Mathis. I'm part-time with you guys. And does Albright still do this training he talks about in this Millionaire Maker manual? And they said, yes, he does. And I'm like, well, I got that 80 hours of PTO. And they said, hold on. They came back on the line and they said, okay, we've got you scheduled to come up here for 3 days, be at the office Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. And I went up there and I drove up there, and Andy Albright gave me 3 days of world-class training that changed my life. Absolutely incredible. So they got me up here talking to you a little bit about recruiting. I've plugged into the system and learned some things. And I like to call it the art form and the science of recruiting. But let's first talk a little bit about how the carriers pay us. Like, we are all coin operated. This is don't want to surprise you, a for-profit industry. If you get real good at helping families get insurance coverage that stays on the books, we call this selling. And we have agents making 6 and 7 figures per year doing just this. You can also get real good at helping people open up their agency and train them to cover families. What's good for a family in their 20s versus what's a family is in their mid-60s. We call this recruiting. The third thing that they pay a lot for, and this is what they pay the most for, if you get real good at training people how to do sales and recruiting and train them to train other people to do that, we call this building. You can make a massive income stream from doing this. So when you start working with your agency owners, you want to tell them we sell, recruit, and build. It's the one thing we do. You're going to work with them to do that. You sell to live the lifestyle that you want, to put food on the table, to pay your bills, to get your assistant, to have money to buy leads. But you recruit to build the lifestyle and the legacy you want to build for you and your family. You see, when Olga started the agency, we were helping 1 or 2 families every 2 or 3 months. And the carriers will pay you accordingly for that. But if you sell, recruit, and build, and you help other agencies do that, they will pay you accordingly. It's crazy because we started out like that, but last month we did over 800 approved applications with the Alliance system. So a lot of people ask me, hey, Jason, what do you say to people when you talk to them about the Alliance system? Warm market, cold market, recruit everybody. What do you say when they say this? What do you tell them in your elevator speech? What do you tell them on your phone interview? What do you tell them on your Zoom meetings? And when I recruit, in my mind, I become 2 things. Monaco, get ready. One of the things I become 2 things very simple. I become a carnival barker, and I also channel my inner Tony Basil. Monaco, remind them of who Tony Basil is. You see, just like Tony Basil, I too have a #1 hit song, a one-hit wonder, okay? I call it my interview script. And when I launch into my Hey Mickey, I'm all in. This is what my audience of 1 came for. This is my best performance, my best take, my clearest voice, my best presentation. You see, when I'm singing my hit song, I don't let Charlie Brown's teacher or Winnie the Pooh's friend Eeyore sing my interview script. You see, nobody wants to work with them jokers, but everyone loves my Hey Mickey interview script. You see, when I'm doing my carnival barkering, the carnival barker has one simple job. We've all been to the carnival. We've heard them barking their song. Step inside. You won't believe your eyes. Come into the tent and see what we brought back from the wild Arctic and the untamed Amazon. The wolf boy and the alligator lady. You see, the carnival barker is simply making sure all who come close know there's an awesome opportunity with the Alliance to do something that will allow them to reach their dreams. We want to let them know to get into the tent. And they've got a team that'll support them, that will help them build a great agency and make their income desires and dreams come true. You see, the carnival barker is not really concerned if they come in or not, but he is very serious about letting all who know come close know that we, the Alliance, has a great system that works. Now let's slow down a little bit here, okay? As you are doing your Hey Mickey and carnival barkering, if your tent has few people coming in, then we know you're doing something grossly wrong with the way you're singing your song. If your numbers are subpar, the fix is simple. You got to reach upline. You got to review your numbers, get some coaching. And if you're part of President's Club and Clay Murtis's team, you can reach out to his team and they'll help you fix it. And what you got to do, guys, this coaching and association and mentoring thing is so huge. If you'll just be humble and plug into it, you got to have accurate data for them. Okay, it's only 6 pieces of data that you need every week on a weekly basis to review, because you want to get better when you sing your Hey Mickey and your carnival barkering, right? Because if you're like, I'm saying exactly what Andy Albright says, I'm saying exactly what Alex Abian says, I'm saying exactly what they are saying. No, you're not. Because you ain't got nobody coming into the tent. Or some people come in and then they leave. They ain't looking at the alligator lady. You've got to know the number of recruit dials you make every week. You've got to know how many interviews that you get done, how many fast tracks you do, how many people new in school, the agents contracted with at least one carrier, and how many new direct agents helped a family that week. When you're doing your Hey Mickey and carnival barkering, track your data. This is the only way to get better. It's the only way to get better. And Gina Hawks, NAA University, a plug, class 162. This is all of this training that Andy Albright has on here for you and us to figure this out. Now, before I sing my #1 hit song for all of you here tonight, I want to channel some of our inner Jeff Bright and understand that we have to meet people where they're at and not where we want them to be. Okay? During the interview, when you are carnival barkering to someone, it is not time to coach them. Do not train them or try to fix their messed up thinking. Doing the Vulcan mind meld interview technique does not work. Doing a 45-minute presentation or interview is time wasting. Now, I've changed this next 2 words a little bit. I got it approved from Mark Acetta yesterday. If you launch into a 45-minute Vulcan mind meld interview, stop. You are now doing verbal marination. Do not do it. Marcus said, I said I could use that word. I said, I want to use another word that starts with M-A, and he said, it's Sunday. Do not use it. I said, but Mark, I really want to. He said, no. He said, you can do it when you coach guys one-on-one or if it's all guys. I said, okay. I said, there's a lot of girls out there. I said, okay. Do not verbally marinate your possible recruits. Do not wax poetic with them. When I interview people, and we get all types of people we interview, and we've all interviewed these types that are coming up. I'm just going to share a few with you today. We interview the guy who's been in the business for 20 years. I really want to tell him, 20 years, wow. Why in the hell haven't you gotten rich already? Why in the heck haven't you found a place to put your license? Why haven't you found a system that's helped you already? But I do not launch into that. That's not meeting him where he's at. What I tell him is, hey, with your experience, you'll kill it in our system. And I'm serious about it. We've also got a second prospect that we interview. They tell you, hey, I got my insurance license. What I'm doing is I'm creating another income stream along with my others. I've got my online store. I've also got my real estate license. And Jason, I also have a crypto business. And I also do my Forex currency trading. I do not do a forensic dive in the money they're losing or making into their Forex or crypto. It's not the time to do it. I tell them that it is awesome that you're thinking about getting into insurance. It's going to be a perfect fit with your entrepreneurial spirit. Let's go make some money in insurance. That's what I tell them. You know, we run into the guy or the girl that says, you know what? I don't need all the rah-rah and the training, Jason. I'm past it. I've run and sold a lot of very successful businesses in the past. And now what I'm thinking is not what comes out. You've been so damn successful, you still have to sell insurance. I'm like, dude, with all of your business experience, our business in a box system, you'll kill it with us. When you do an interview and it starts to get over 15, 20 minutes, you start to run into the verbal marination quagmire. What I do is I give them something to do and see if they'll do it. And then I move to the next candidate. During my interview, it typically takes 10 to 15 minutes to get them to the next step. Whatever the next step is, guys, like what do we want to do? I'm looking at fast tracking them, getting them into class, carrier contracting them, getting them over to a company overview, a hotspot, getting them face-to-face with someone. Albright said when he talks to somebody, he finds out where they are in the country, and he's immediately thinking, where's my phone-a-friend network? Because I'm going to get Terry Edwards on them. I'm going to get Olga Mathis on them. I'm going to get Marnie Frank on them. So you always set up and do that. You bam-fam them, you book a meeting from a meeting. Guys, when you do this magical trick called bam-fam, this is a weeding out process. Without the bam-fam, we would think everybody, but if they don't meet you for that next meeting, guess what that tells you? Kind of like when you go try to kiss a girl, if she pulls away, she don't want to kiss you. So this is how you find people that simply do what they say they're going to do. Now, when I go into my song, my number one hit song, you know, and my interview has 4 phases, okay? They're very simple. It's the intro. The intro is, do you have time for me to talk on this interview? If you do, yes. If not, I book a meeting, I reschedule it. And I give them some kind of congratulations. Thanks for taking the interview. Thanks for setting it up. They told me you got your license, like congratulations for getting it. Whatever it is, I give some kind of congratulations. Phase part number 2 is information gathering. Remember, we have to find where they're at, not where we want them to be. So I'm trying to find out how long they had their license. And I don't put them, and they don't feel like they're on in front of a lawyer questioning them. But I do want to find out how long you had it. Why get into insurance? Like, I have never asked a 7-year-old and said, hey, dude, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? And they say, insurance agent. It's not happened. So how long you had it? Why'd you get into insurance? Are you doing it part-time or full-time? And do you do more life, health, or Medicare? And I always kind of want to find out where they started or why they got into it. So I'm like, hey, did you start off with like a Primerica, an Aflac, a World Financial Group, like whatever I might have picked up on the phone, or I looked at their email address, right? Sometimes their email address will tell you. The third phase is the nuts and bolts. It's like our opportunity. Why? What makes us so dagnum awesome? Okay? Why the alliance over everybody else? You know, I launch into the ARC. I launch into we get paid 3 days a week. I launch into NAA University, President's Club, lead performance team, our leadership, Brian Adams, Andy Albright, this kid, Steve Young. That's who we are. And then the last and final phase is the close. I call it the dating question. And the dating question is 2 questions back to back. So does this sound like something that you'd want to do, or do you have any questions? Okay? Now, when someone asks you a question, okay, you don't have to answer it. You can answer their question with a question. But remember, we are trying to move them along. So, if you answer their question, when you answer it, when you finish up answering their question, you need to launch into a question. Okay, that should give you, when they ask the questions that they ask, that should give you some insight of where you need to take it or what question you need to ask them. And then the dating question, you find out where they're at, what they want to do, and do it. So during the interview, here's a pro tip. During the interview, use their name several times. Several times. I love hearing my name. Say it again, Jason. That's right. Terry Edwards. I'm always thinking how I can get a person close to the team, how I can get them to associate with us. Dude, our culture is super infectious. We have fun. We're awesome to hang out with. Hey, who wouldn't want to hang out with a Terry or Tia Edwards? Who wouldn't want to hang out with a Stephen Davies? We go on these awesome trips. We get scooter gangs together and go out and run the roads. It takes time. But if we can get the alliance on their skin, into their blood, and into their DNA, this is what you're after. This takes building trust. Trust takes time and doing what you say you will do. Now, when I'm recruiting, I look for one thing in a person, guys. This is all I look for. Remember, it's 10 minutes. It's not the verbal marination. I look for one thing and one thing only. Will they do what they say they're going to do? I don't care if they want to do it part-time or they want to do it full-time. If they say, hey, I just want to help 2 families a month, will they be 100% in for 2 family helps a month? Okay? Here's what I do. I give more time to full-time people, though. I give less time to part-time people. But both of them get 100% of me, my best. I care enough not to care. I say this a lot. Agents call me up. I'm working with them. Hey, these people don't do this. They don't do that. They are terrible. They never follow up on the fast track. They don't keep their interviews. I'm like, man, I care enough not to care about their dysfunction. I only care about what they're doing well. You cannot let them pull you down into their way of thinking. Our system is a badass system and it works. Sometimes people move fast. It's kind of like making a car fender. The sheet metal goes into the hydraulic press, and bam, out comes an awesome new agent. Kind of like how some of us will come at a view from the edge and change fast. And some people are like a samurai sword. It takes 1,500 hours to make a samurai sword, and sometimes that's how agents are. Now, I'm going to launch into my #1 hit song. You guys need to get your #1 hit song, start working with your upline, and create your #1 hit song. This is my #1 hit song called Interview Script. When I do this, guys, like, I'm serious about interviewing people. I'm working on my breathing. I'm working on when I'm in my chair, I'll get up, I move around. Like, I'm very, very serious about rocking this script out. So here we go. Hello, John. It's Jason Mathis. They set us up a phone interview. You got a minute? If they say no, I'm like, okay, when can I call you back? Now, 90% of the time they say yes. And then I say, hey, they told me you responded to our ad for insurance agents. Congratulations. Or I say, hey, they told me you got your insurance license. Congratulations. Then I go into the, how long you had it. What made you get interested in insurance? What made you want to go out there and sell insurance? Hey, do you do more health, life, or Medicare? Do you do insurance part-time or full-time? Did you start out with an Aflac or Prime America? They're going to answer all these questions. And here I go into the nuts and bolts. John, I'll tell you what we do, how we do it, and what we're looking for, and we can interview each other to see if there's a fit. Fair enough? They always say yes, that's fair. That's extremely fair. John, we're a nationwide life insurance and annuity distributor. We sell the products of about 40 different multi-billion-dollar carriers like Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, AIG, etc., and about 37 others. This allows us to do all the shopping for our clients. But John, we also sell IULs, term and whole life, burial and final expense, Medicare, MedAdvantage, MedSups, and health matching accounts for humans and pets. And we have a securities office under our umbrella if your clients need that service or if you ever want to become a financial advisor. John, we are #1. We are America's #1 mortgage life insurance provider. That's the insurance mom and dad get, and when one of them dies, we send a check to the other to pay off the mortgage. Because when you lose a spouse, you lose all their income. Correct, John? Now wait for a response. Make sure John's listening in. John, we're #1 with Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, Foresters. We send them more clients than anyone else. And John, check it out. We have clients that respond to direct mail leads, internet social media leads, telemarketing leads, and the World Wide Web. And John, we've got no lost leaders or free giveaways to get our clients to fill out our leads. No free child safety kits or wills, no free iPad or iPhone, no free gift cards. We don't do any of that. And John, we send out millions and millions per week. That's impressive, sir, to people who have had a life event that gets them thinking about buying life insurance. People who got married, had a baby, put a mortgage on a home, or turning 65. John, they give us their height, weight, date of birth, if they smoke or not, phone numbers, and they sign it. Mail it back to our corporate office. They scan it into our world-class computer CRM system. Agents like you log in, call the clients in the county you live in, the county next door, set the appointment, make a friend, do a financial needs analysis, and help protect a family. Our average client's 48 to 52 years old, and they spend on average about $100 to protect their family. And on average, you'll make about $500 when you protect one of our client families. We're non-captive, John, and we're looking for part-time or full-time agents. The dating question. Now, John, does that sound like something you'd want to do or have any questions? Woo! That's the song, baby. That's my #1 hit song, guys. I love it. Here's what I'll tell you. Here's what me and Olga did. We stopped letting the past stop the present us. We stop letting our past mistakes put a lid on our future. Stop relying on the old you and plug into the Alliance system and build your future success. Long live the Alliance!